Alright, an opinion piece. This shouldn't be too different from what I already do, right? So recently on the channel I've been going over a few games in celebration of big titles I'm very excited for. Jedi Survivor is coming out in a few weeks and Tears of the Kingdom coming out in a few months. And don't worry if you subscribed for those videos, I will still be making a video on Fallen Order and 2 videos finishing up the Four Swords saga. They are on the way, but with recent news coming to light about the 2 titles raising their prices up to $70 instead of the usual $60, I will not be purchasing these 2 games at launch. Keyword there is launch. I'll definitely play Tears of the Kingdom someday, since Breath of the Wild is probably one of my favorite games ever, but I'm waiting for a sale or for a pre-owned copy, cause that $70 shit is stupid. We have had the standardized price of $60 for over 2 decades. I see no reason to start increasing the price on games now. Especially since most companies that put out $60 titles usually make back the development costs with pre-order sales alone. And even if they don't, that's what all that microtransactions and paid DLC bullshit is for. And it's really funny to me how most companies who jumped on board the $10 increase at the start only doubled down on their efforts to nickel and dime players over with all kinds of ads and other kinds of $20 anime skins for the realistic military shooter. And no, my problem isn't that it's anime, I actually think that it's really funny to 360 no-scope my hat-tipping Miku into somebody's 1,000-year-old dragon girlfriend. My problem is that it has to appear on my fucking adult bank statement. Dude, my mom reads my bank statements. You know, Fallen Order is so good that I sometimes forget that it's owned by Satan. Well, Satan number 3 actually, it's right there behind Satan 2 and Satan 1, but we don't have time to talk about those. So I was stoked to get Jedi Survivor on release, but as I was working on my Forced Unleashed video, I at least thought the base game would be $60, but no! Which is hilarious cause the deluxe definitive bullshit version was $70 last time. And now it's $90, so I don't even know where they got the extra $20, assholes! Well, obviously the answer is money, the same answer to everything regarding EA. Which includes why they just recently canceled Titanfall 3 again! Yeah, the game everybody wants, I'm sure that wouldn't make a dime! But hey, I can at least expect this type of junk from EA. But Nintendo? Nintendo, what's been up with you, man? I know this company takes 10 years to catch up with the rest of the industry, such as having a shitty paid online that's outclassed by the paid online on the Xbox One. And no, I don't mean this one. I said Xbox One as in the actual first Xbox that ever came out. And what's with all that Mario bullshit not 2 years ago? Shutting down a popular game for what was essentially no real reason, and selling a half-ass collection for only 12 months? That kind of corny horseshit is straight out of the early 2000s marketing playbook. But hey, at the very least, this $70 crap is a relevant problem in the industry. You really have some nerve to not just try and pull this stunt on your budgeted game console that can barely play its own games, but to also change the price of a highly anticipated title only a few months before release. Nintendo is not as evil of a company like EA, you know? They do quite a few good things for their employees, and I respect the fact that they're honoring $60 pre-orders. Nintendo's main problem is that their thinking is way too old school, which makes the $70 crap more baffling for this company. I refuse to pay that for a Switch game because as soon as I do, I pretty much lock in the possibility of a Gen 5 remake coming out that looks like this! For $70. And don't go pulling out that stupid ad with Yoshi's Island listed at like $80. I hate to tell you boys this, but that was 30 years ago, back when the gaming industry was like the Wild West with pricing. And then, like most industries, the big boys came together to standardize the price to something that they could all agree on. I know inflation has raised the price on a lot of things, but you know guys, milk doesn't have DLC! Nobody buys movies or music anymore, it's all gone the way of streaming, or in music's case, just straight up piracy. And with all the issues going on with recent streaming services, movies will probably be in the same boat in the not too distant future. And a $70 increase does not mean more money for the developers. If it really and truly did, I'd be for it. But let's be honest, it's not for them, it's all going to the same fat-ass CEO that it always goes to. All of this is to say, I'm not paying $70 for these games or any other game. The only time I paid $70 for a game was Destruction All-Stars. And that was because it was part of a bundle, which was the only way I was going to get a PS5 out here in the boonies. I don't feel bad about that, because that game failed super hard and I've not touched that game since I threw it out of the box the PS5 came with. I am still working on the videos for Zelda and Star Wars. Don't worry, I said I'm making them, I'm making them. I always at least try to keep my word. But for these new ones, I'm waiting for a sale or a pre-owned copy before I actually try them out. In Jedi Survivor's case, that won't be too bad, since it will go on sale like a month or two later like most AAA games. But Zelda, that's gonna take a while since Nintendo never puts anything on sale. And again, I'm in the boonies, I ain't getting no $20 off Target discount. Besides, a purchase that way will still just tell Nintendo that this stuff's fine, so no. Don't get it twisted, I'm not calling for a boycott or saying anyone who buy these games are stupid for doing so. I blame the companies, not you. I'm just saying that for me personally, I'm gonna stick to my guns on this. I'm not paying $70 for this stuff. If you want a more detailed video about why $70 games are ridiculous, I'd recommend Gustoxward's video on the subject. He did a lot of research and his editing is genuinely some of the best I've seen on YouTube. Sorry if you were hoping this video to be a more detailed thing. I just thought that since I'm not going to get the two games I've been hyping up, it'd be weird to just not say anything, so here you go. Hey, speaking of prices, has anyone else figured out that thing with egg prices and Taylor Swift? Was that all a coincidence, or did she really order her Cardigan Mocha strike team to do something about it? Cause if so, then I gotta hit her up about that Titanfall 3 situation. Something needs to be done, and we all know that that can't happen till somebody calls in the fucking Swifties.